Across the sprawling, star-strewn empire of humanity, one power burns brighter than 1 billion suns. Faith, it is the fuel that powers armies, the spark that ignites crusades, and the inferno that devours entire civilizations. At the heart of this divine fire stands the Ecclesiarchy, the state church of the Imperium of Man. But when its fervent belief turns to ravenous flame, when its priests declare a war of faith, entire worlds are consumed in a holy conflagration. Welcome to the Imperium. Here, the Ecclesiarchy preaches the singular, unassailable truth. The God-Emperor of mankind. He is not merely a ruler, a deity, the one true God. From the towering spires of hive worlds to the lonely frontiers of distant colonies, every man, woman, and child is taught that to serve the Emperor is the highest calling. But in the 41st millennium, faith isn't a gentle, comforting light. It's a weapon. And like any weapon, its purpose is to kill. The Ecclesiarchy is an empire within an empire vast, wealthy, and powerful. Second only to the High Lords of Terra themselves. Its cardinals command fleets, its preachers inspire billions, and its confessors hold the fates of worlds in their hands. But their true power isn't in armies or riches. It's in belief. And in the Imperium, belief can move mountains and slaughter armies. When that belief boils over, when it becomes an unstoppable tide of fanaticism, a war of faith is born. It can start with a single spark, a priest claiming a divine vision, a lost relic rediscovered, a planetary governor accused of heresy. A whisper becomes a roar. The Ecclesiarch himself might bless it, or he might not. But once the masses are roused by divine fury, no earthly decree can stop them. Worlds burn in the name of righteousness, and the blood of billions becomes a holy offering to their living God. These are not wars of strategy or conquest. They are wars of purity, fought to cleanse the impure and convert the unbeliever. The Ecclesiarchy raises its own armies. The Frateris Militia hordes of zealots, flagellants, and fanatics, who march under banners painted with skulls and fire. They are poorly armed, barely trained, and utterly consumed by their devotion. Facing them might be Xenos invaders, heretical cults, or even planetary governments who simply questioned a priest's authority. And yet, the faithful often win, not through skill, but through a conviction so absolute that it cannot be broken. But the true might of a war of faith is unleashed when the Adeptus Ministorum, the Sisters of Battle, are called. They are the Ecclesiarchy's militant arm, the Emperor's wrath made manifest, armored in Ceramite faith, wielding holy fire and blessed blades. They are the purifiers. Where the Sisters of Battle march, heresy dies, screaming. Cities are razed, worlds are sanctified in blood and fire, and the Emperor's light is restored, one corpse at a time. Of course, there is a darker side to this holy zeal. For every world sanctified, another is utterly annihilated. Wars of faith can rage for centuries, leaving entire sectors of space depopulated and ruined. Economies collapse, star systems go dark, and cultures are erased from history. But to the Ecclesiarchy, this is an acceptable price. Every death is a sacrifice. Every ruin is a monument to devotion. Faith demands blood, and the Imperium always provides. History is scarred by these fanatical crusades. The age of apostasy saw rival cardinals tear the Imperium apart in a holy civil war. The age of redemption was a frenzy of purification, where preachers called for the extermination of entire populations to cleanse perceived sin. The most infamous example is the Reign of Blood. The Mad High Lord Goge Vandire seized control of both the state and the church, declaring himself the Emperor's chosen voice. He unleashed his personal armies on the Imperium, and billions died. Worlds burned simply for doubting his divinity. He even enslaved the Sisters of Battle, twisting their loyalty to serve his tyrannical ends. It took the intervention of the Emperor's own custodians to finally end his reign of terror. Vandire's death led to a critical reform. The Ecclesiarchy was forbidden from ever again commanding men under arms, a rule they cleverly circumvent to this day. Even now, in the 41st millennium, Wars of faith are a constant, terrifying reality. A single cardinal can declare a crusade that mobilizes entire sectors, sending fleets of pilgrims and zealous hordes across the stars. They travel, chanting litanies, their ships like mobile cathedrals, lighting the void with the fires of fanaticism. The Ministorum's propaganda calls them holy acts of cleansing. But for those caught in their path, they are genocides dressed in scripture. Innocents are slaughtered, planets are turned to ash, and when the smoke finally clears, the Ecclesiarchy erects a shrine on the ruins and declares another glorious victory for the Emperor. And here is the terrible truth. These wars serve a purpose. The Imperium needs this faith to survive. Its people live in a galaxy of unending horror, facing alien monsters, demonic incursions, and the constant grind of war. Without belief, humanity would have collapsed into despair and madness long ago. The Ecclesiarchy knows this, so it gives the people the one thing they truly need. Something to die for. Even the High Lords of Terra tolerate the Church as excesses because that fanaticism is the glue that holds a million worlds together. But the line between salvation and damnation is razor. The same faith that sustains humanity can also consume it. In the grim darkness of the far future, religion is not a refuge. It is a weapon honed over 10,000 years and sharpened by endless bloodshed. When the Ecclesiarchy calls for a war of faith, there is no negotiation, no mercy, and no retreat. The Emperor demands devotion. The priests demand obedience, and the people give their lives willingly. Because, in the Imperium of Man, to believe is to burn. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the dark lore of Warhammer 40,000, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more. Let us know in the comments what corner of the grim darkness you'd like to explore next. For the Emperor.